Assalamu alaikum. My name is Sarim Rayan and my roll number is F19 BSIT 1014. And today we will be discussing the company SpaceX, its enterprise system, its business processes and business functions, and how this company works. Well, what is SpaceX? SpaceX is an aerospace manufacturer and a space transportation company which is settled in Hawthorne, California, America, and it is owned by the richest person for now in this world named Elon Musk. Now, who is Elon Musk? Elon Musk is the owner of Tesla and SpaceX. How did he become the owner of Tesla and SpaceX? Let's discuss. He was not a popular person as he grew up. He was a middle class, normal person. He and after graduation, he and his brother started a online payment company, which was named as X.com. Then later on, eBay bought this X.com and named it as PayPal, which is well known to this date. Everyone knows PayPal, and it's popular in all over the world for online payments and transactions, etc. SpaceX is the most popular space company of this era. SpaceX has crossed the NASA. It generated the revenue of $2 billion, which was recorded last in 2020. Now, how did become SpaceX the most richest and the most successful company of space in this era? Let's discuss. SpaceX was created by Elon Musk, and Elon Musk is known for his everlasting struggles and endeavors to achieve his goals. He is a visionary person. At first, when he sold his X.com, it was sold for $1.5 billion to the eBay. Elon Musk could have stopped there and enjoyed this amount, and lived happily for all over his life. It was enough of money. A person could have billions of dollars. It's a lot of money. So, but there are some specific persons who are visionary and they don't just sit after achieving a limited goal. Elon Musk had extraordinary dreams. He had dreams, sky-touching dreams. So he went on further to achieve his dreams. What were those dreams? One of the biggest dream of Elon Musk was to colonize Mars. Yes, Mars, the third planet of this solar system after Earth, which is the most likely to be habitable by humans because it contains a little bit of water in its under its crust. It is said that once Mars had water, but due to some drought or something, this water was exterminated, and this water goes deep down the surface. But it means this planet has water. Water is the basis of humanity. Water is the basis of life. So in recent era, scientists were planning to colonize Mars, but no one really came up with the practical implementation of this idea. But then there was a person specific known as Elon Musk. His dreams were colonizing Mars. So he took his first step by investing $100 million out of his $1.5 billion in the company SpaceX, and the remaining dollars in the company Tesla. Both of his companies SpaceX and Tesla struggled a lot in the recent in past times. They were both at the verge of bankruptcy, but Elon Musk saved them from being bankrupt. And how did he save them? I would just say one thing, which is the most popular about Elon Musk. It is said that Elon Musk rests on the floor of his company's factory. Why? He said he found the inner peace. He know that he is struggling for something, and he feel attached to the company. That's why he is so much successful. He works 22 hours a day. Now let's discuss some important inventions of SpaceX. There are four inventions of SpaceX which are most popular. First one is the rocket Falcon 9, which is capable of going to the space in much higher speed than the previous rockets by NASA. Then there is an upgraded version of Falcon 9, which is called Falcon Heavy. It's just big in size and contains a lot of fuel to go up in space, as I will show you in the picture. The picture must be in this video. Then there is a third item known as Dragon Ship. which will be used to transport human and cargo to the Mars. Actually, it is a small sized ship, not as big as any other rocket. As you can say, it will be filled. Let's say this is a rocket, Falcon 9 or Falcon Heavy, whatever you may consider. And let's see, consider this is the size of Dragon cargo ship. Now, Dragon cargo ship will be fitted on the top of this rocket as a cargo, or maybe you can say in the place where astronauts or anyone who is going to the Mars can sit. Now, this cargo can be fitted here or here because this is a rocket, and the only part which goes into the space and which remains is this portion, this small portion. The rest of this portion is just fuel and the machinery. Now, what is so special in this SpaceX from NASA and other companies like Blue Origin and NASCAR? Now, let me tell you what is the big difference. Now, the rockets in the past, they are just used in the one-way communication. Like the rocket, let's say this is a rocket, it is sent to the space. Now, boom, after sending this to the space, this rocket can be returned to this earth and it is wasted. Let's say it consumed $1 million to be manufactured, and once it is when it goes to the space, whether it will be a successful voyage or non-successful, but this rocket now can't be used again because it can return back because there is a space, there is no gravity in the space, so it can't return to the earth again. No. What SpaceX did, the most popular invention of the SpaceX was that they built a rocket, they built a launching system that can return back to the Earth. It is easy said than done because Elon Musk's company SpaceX faced a lot of failures. After a lot of attempts, they recently achieved the goal of bringing back the launching system of the rocket back to the Earth. And that ship is called Starship. And that's the biggest invention of SpaceX. Now, what's the biggest goal of Starship? Maybe you've heard nowadays that internet's going to be free of cost all over the world. That's the main idea behind the Starship. Starlink. The whole mission is called Starlink, and the ship is called Starship. The main purpose of Starship is that SpaceX will send a lot of satellites known as Starships into the space. These satellites will circle around all the globe and provide the high-speed internet free of cost to all of the world. No, that's a big idea, very big idea. And the implementation has started in America. I think they have started this implementation in the California district, California state. I'm not sure, but it is started in America, and Elon Musk have already sent a lot of Starlink spaceships into the Starlink satellites into the space, which are providing high-speed internet to the area to the areas they are sent to. Now, the what will be different in this Starship's internet from other internet is that this internet can be provided into the remote areas where there is no population. Let's say Antarctica and Amazon and the forests of Amazon where there is no signals of telephone and they can't make calls. Now, what will be the drawback of this Starlink? That it will eradicate the cell phone mobile company system, SIM system. These companies will face a lot of backstab because there will be no need of cell phone making cell phone calls or text messages because there will be internet all over. And today we see that where there is internet, people see having internet only make WhatsApp calls and not SIM calls because they cost too much, and WhatsApp calls don't cost at all. Now, what was the purpose of Falcon 9, Falcon Heavy, and Dragon cargo ship? The purpose of them was to send people to Mars and colonize it. How will Mars be colonized? Because Mars atmosphere doesn't have oxygen. So the answer of that will be the atmosphere. The community on Mars will be closed in an auditorium, like in a ball of glass. Let's say a ball of glass, and the whole habitat. and it was a habitat covered by a glass, and all of the life will be inside that glass. People can just go out of that glass because there is no oxygen outside this glass, because they will provide artificial oxygen inside that glass. Now, what was the purpose of sending people colonizing Mars? Like Stephen Hawking predicted that in about 300 or 300 years, in about 300 years, this planet Earth will no longer be habitable by humans. Humans themselves will eradicate the whole life on this planet. Well, maybe it can either be in a form of a nuclear explosion. It can either be a form of deadly viruses like today coronavirus, and it can either be a world war or anything like that. Mankind will eradicate itself in this planet. So he said that there is an utter need of colonizing any other planet, because in case this earthly dark-minded humans eradicate themselves, then there must be a second form of life in this universe somewhere else to continue the legacy of humankind. Now, that was all the story behind SpaceX. Now, let's discuss the enterprise system of SpaceX. Now, first of all, what is an enterprise? An enterprise is a collection of departments, collection of parts of a company which work together to form a bigger unit. Then that bigger unit is called enterprise. Enterprise don't have any specific definition, so let's consider this a definition for the time, for now. Now, what is the enterprise system of SpaceX? What does the enterprise system of SpaceX comprises of? The enterprise system of SpaceX consists of these departments. I'm going to name them. First of all, it's DBMS. Every enterprise system consists a database management system, because database management system is the backbone of any enterprise, because it holds all the data and responsible for all the storage and everything. Now, the second department of in this enterprise system is a human resource, and it's also a common department of any enterprise system. The third is safety and regulation department, the department which will be responsible for checking the security levels and regulation of the machineries and all other things like that, safety and regulation related. Now, the fourth department will be finance, and it's also a common department in every enterprise system, because there must be some financial processes in a business. A business is a financial process, so financial department is a must in any enterprise system. The fifth department is avionics. Now, what does avionics mean? Avionics is the implementation of electronics in the field of aviation. You can say there must be electronical work inside a rocket, so that department will be covered by avionics. The sixth department will be food services, because the rocket manufacturing is not a small process, it is a big process, and there is a lot of workers inside the SpaceX headquarters. And those employees must need some food to eat, to spend the day. So this department covers that aspect. Now, the seventh department is manufacturing and production. All the manufacturing of the spacecrafts and the rockets and the Dragon ships and the Starlink satellites and other avionical products and machinery is developed under this department, because it is responsible for all the development and everything like that. The eighth department is a launching system. Now, what is launching system? Uh, this is, let's say, this is a rocket. It can go up in the space by itself. It must need a launching system. Let's say this is a launching system. A launching system. I will display the launching system in this video in a picture in this video. The launching system is a launching pad, like there is like the launching pad of a helicopter, like a helipad you've seen, like the runway of a plane. There must be a launching system of the rocket, and the rocket. The launching system actually is support to the rocket, which after on which it can stand. Then there is a surface where the thrust can be pulled and the propulsion can lift the rocket up in the space. Uh, the launching system is a earlier I said that consider this as a launching system. That is also a part of a launching system which can come back to the Earth, but it is also a part of a rocket. I'm not discussing that launching system. I'm discussing about the area of the launching. That is covered by this launching system. This that area is made by this launching system, and all the management is done by this launching system department. And the launching part of the rocket is manufactured under the production and manufacturing department. It is also a part of a launching system, but that launching system differs from this launching system. Now, the now next we have the Department of Navigation and Control. What is the need of navigation and control department? Let's say I sent this rocket into the space. Where did this rocket go? How will I know where is this rocket right now? Then arises the need of the navigation and control system, because this department will cover the function of navigating where the rocket will is right now and where it is going. And uh, every rocket doesn't contain any astronaut to operate the rocket itself, operate the rocket. The rocket doesn't have any an astronaut, and it doesn't operate itself. It is controlled by human in the navigation and control department. They have certain laptops and PCs which are connected to the which are connected wirelessly to the rocket, and they just like a video game, they play with the rocket and guides the rocket wherever it will go, and whatever it will do, and how will the launching system of the rocket will come back to the earth, and everything will be controlled by the navigation and control system. Let me tell you some plus point that navigation and control system is also present in the airline companies, because in airline companies, navigation and control system is used for the air traffic. There is a traffic route up in the air for planes and helicopters, and that traffic is controlled by the navigation and control department of the airports. Air Force also uses navigation and control department to navigate uh, any enemy jet or which come inside their borderline and they will after navigating that aircraft, they eradicate the aircraft, or warn that aircraft to return back to their borderline, or it will be destroyed by their air force. Now, the next department is mission management. What is the need of this department? Rockets doesn't go into the space without any reason. The Like I said, the main reason behind SpaceX formation was to colonize Mars. Now that colonizing Mars is a mission. Mm, and that mission will be managed by this mission management department. I discussed two main missions in this video. First, colonizing Mars, and the second was Starlink satellite providing internet to all over the world free of cost. That was two missions. Let's say these two missions. There are two missions. These two missions will be managed by mission management department. Next department is our sales. Sales is the most important department of any business. It is BMS is the main backbone of enterprise system, and sales is the backbone of any business. If a business doesn't make any sales, it doesn't prevail. It doesn't have any profit, and having no profit will be a reason of bankruptcy. Now, the next department that we have is named as the satellite development. The This SpaceX company doesn't only develop spacecrafts like rockets. They also develop spaceships like Starlink I discussed earlier. So the satellites like Starlinks are developed under this department. Next department is propulsion. What is propulsion? Propulsion is the process of going upward or going forward by pushing the atmosphere or pushing the surface behind its back. Now, a rocket doesn't work on a process of an engine of a car because an engine of a car process on a piston technology. The piston pulls the engine, and the engine then power the wheels, and the wheels then circle, and the car goes forward. This technology doesn't push any surface or atmosphere to go forward. It uses the engine technology. Now the launching system of a rocket doesn't base on the engine technology. It is based on the propulsion technology, because the fuel inside this rocket doesn't have any engine to circle any wheels or anything. This fuel gets burned just like a rocket of a missile is used, or a submarine rocket is used. Now, what is this rocket? What is the propulsion system in this rocket? Is that this part of the rocket is consisted of the burning fuel. Now this gets burned, and the pulling force of this fuel pull the surface of the earth. Now the earth is a bigger object and it can be pulled beneath. So this rocket, instead of pulling the earth beneath, goes upward due to the third law of Newton. Newton said every force have an opposing force. Now, if we apply a force to this earth, the earth will apply also a force to this rocket, and this rocket will go upside into the space, and it will be an practical implementation of Newton's third law, and it is known as propulsion. This process is known as propulsion, and all the machinery that is used in this propulsion, the fuel and everything is handled under this department of propulsion. Now, the next department is testing. The rocket is made. The propulsion team has filled the fuel inside the rocket. The sales have done. The manufacturing team has manufactured all of its goods, and the safety and regulation department regulated all the atmosphere. But still, this rocket is not ready to be launched into the space. Why? Because there can be faults in this rocket. A rocket doesn't manufacture a fault free, because they are after all they are made by a human, and human commits faults every time. So eliminating that fault is needed, and that elimination is done by the department of testing. The testing department first a test drive of that rocket, and that this test drive is not as a whole of the rocket. They test part by part the whole rocket, because testing the whole rocket in one go will mean that launching this rocket into the space, and that can't be done. It is too much costly. And this testing is done by parts. Let's say there is a rocket, and this rocket will be uh, divided into these two parts, and these two parts will be tested individually. If these two pass all the testing criteria, this rocket will be ready to launch. Now the next department is Starlink. Now there are two types of spacecrafts that are made under the Starlink department. First is Starlink satellite, and the second is Starship. The Starship is a big ship that is used to send cargo into the space. Like let's say the Mars is colonized, and there is one of my family member is in Mars. I need to send him a laptop. How will I send him a laptop? Because there isn't any TCS or courier service. Now that courier service will be developed will by the SpaceX's Starship. What will this Starship do? That this Starship, let's say this is Earth. This I need to send a laptop. I gave the SpaceX a laptop. SpaceX put the laptop inside the Starship. This area of the Starship is hollow, which can be used to contain luggage or anything that need to be shipped to the Mars. Now let's say the laptop my laptop is in this part of the Starship, and the rocket is ready to launch. The rocket will launch and go. to the Mars, and it will deliver my laptop to the Mars community, and that is the main purpose of this Starship. Now the second component that Starlink department makes is the Starlink satellite. The Starlink satellite, I discussed the function of Starlink satellite earlier, that it will provide high-speed internet all over the world, free of cost. Even in the remote areas, it will provide high-speed internet into the remote areas like mountain area, like Mount Everest and Antarctica and Amazon forest, etc. The next department we have is supply chain management department, because every company, manufacturing company, must need a supply to make this product, and that supply will be handled in this department of SpaceX. Transport. Transport is also the backbone of a company, of a business, because supply must need a transport to be shipped from one place to another, and that transport can either be needed in the form of shipping its employees from their home to their workplace, and etc. So that things will be handled by the Department of Transport. Now we will discuss the business functions and business processes of SpaceX's enterprise system. First of all, what is business function and business process? Business function are the main goals that a certain company needs to achieve, and the business process are the processes that are implemented to achieve that goal. Now let's say I have now let's consider me a company, and my goal is to be an astronaut. That goal of being an astronaut will be my business function, and function of this goal will be studying, and the studying will be the main business function. Now, what will that study need? The study will need the financial support. The study will need the mental support. The study will need my family support. The study will need me to struggle by going to the university, by doing assignments, by doing projects, and all these things will be considered under the branch of business process. These all will be business processes. Now, what are the business functions of SpaceX? First of all, DBMS, which is responsible for storing all the storage, is the business function, because it is the main thing in achieving the goal, and that thing is storing the data you have of your goal. Then there comprises a department that is named as human resource. Human resource department is responsible for hiring and training of the employees the company hired. This department also goes under the business function department, because it is a function. It is they are doing something. They are doing a main thing, a pivot thing, which is responsible for achieving the goal. The next department is finance. Financial department will be responsible for all the finance systems, all the salary management systems, or all the mission all the budget, or budget assigning of a mission, and all that thing will be considered under the business function department. Now the next department that we have under the business function is manufacturing and production department. Now, the main process of a company takes place under the manufacturing and production department, and it is a business function, not only in this enterprise, but in every enterprise. Manufacturing and production is the main business function, because all the manufacturing of the spacecrafts that will be going to the Mars takes place under this department, and colonizing Mars is the main goal of SpaceX. Next department is launching system. Launching system is responsible for sending the rocket onto the Mars, and that launching system is also doing a pivot thing in this also playing a pivot role in this in achieving this goal, in the process of achieving this goal. So the process which will also be covered by launching system, and the launching system is a business function. Next department that will be covered under the business function is mission management. Now the processes, all the processes related to management are business for business functions, not only in this enterprise but in every enterprises. So as this department will manage all the missions, so it will come under the business function department, business functions uh, branch. So the next and the last department in business function will we have Starlink. Starlink in itself is a whole other department which creates and sends Starlink satellites to the space. The Starlink department also have an individual goal, so this will be considered a business function. Next we have is supply chain management. Supply chain management is also a business function because it is responsible for the main supply, and this supply will later on be used in the making of rockets. This supply can either be electronics, this supply can either be body parts of the rockets, this supply can either be vehicles that will be used in making of the rockets. So this department is also doing a business function. The next department we have is navigation and control. The navigation and control is doing a playing a pivot role by controlling all the rocket. Now let's controlling the rocket. Controlling this rocket is the one of the main function this rockets need to have to go to the Mars. If this rocket doesn't have any control system, this rocket won't go to Mars by itself. So this department, navigation and control, is uh, business function. The next department that we have under the business function is satellite development. Now, as I discussed earlier, where in the departments which are responsible for developing anything will be considered under the business function, and so the satellite development is also developing something, so this will be considered as a business function. Now we will move on to the business processes. What are the business processes? Business processes are, as I said earlier, business processes are the processes that needs to be done in order to help the business functions to achieve the goal. So the business processes of this enterprise system are, first of all, Safety and Regulation Department. Safety and Regulation Department is working side by side in whole the factory by regulating all the faults and eliminating all the faults, and doing all the security checks whether something is happening wrong, or or an employee is not working at its best, or the employee is doing corruption. So this department is working side by side with the whole factory. So this department is will also be considered under a business process. The next department is avionics. Avionics is also a business process, as it is implementing electronics into the rockets, but it is not the main manufacturing of the rocket. It is just a part of the manufacturing. So this department will also be considered as a business process. The next we have as a food service. Food service is not a big role to go on to the Mars. Food can also be eaten at home or by some outside cafe or hotel. So this will be also a business process. Next, we have information technology. Information technology will help in communicating with all the employees. By it will help the employees to communicate with each other, and it will information technology will also be considered for making contact with the navigation department and the rocket. So, as this department is also working side by side with navigation department and the employees, so it is considered under the business process. The next department that we have under the business process is propulsion. As propulsion is not one of the main thing which is happening under the manufacturing of the rocket, so this will also be considered as a business process. Testing is also a business process as it is working side by side with the factory, working side by side with the development team to ensure that the rocket is up to date and the rocket is all set to launch. So this is also a business process. The next department that we have in the business process is called transport. Transport is working side by side with the whole company to transport goods and vehicles and the spare parts of the rocket. So this department is also a business process.